I'm making this video as a 61-year-old man that has lived through many trials and tribulations of this world. Many ups and downs, sometimes more downs than ups. And the one thing I'm seeing a lot, especially in our country, in the United States, it's actually pretty heartbreaking seeing all these people that are on drugs and stuff. Stuff like out of the fentanyl, opiates and stuff. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. And share my story, which sometimes is kind of painful, even for me at my age, because I was born back in San Diego in 1963 to a alcoholic mother and then a workaholic father, in kind of a party town, biker town, a lot of drunks and stuff. And in an early age, I was exposed to a lot of negative stuff, stuff like media, even media back in the 70s, a lot of violent shows, and there was a lot of drugs where I lived, and there was a lot of fights and stuff. And that has a way of trickling down into your life as you get older, like developing certain habits, coping mechanisms. They would say it's a coping mechanism, but I'm realizing now as I got older, it's not. It doesn't help you cope at all. And it causes more trauma, and you get to a point where you feel like you have the entire world on your shoulders. Then I think it's very important to check on yourself, because nobody else is really going to check on you. You hear about all these older people eating out of dumpsters, garbage cans, living with the 10 cats, and that's a real thing, especially like in the United States, because in the United States everything's based on money, everything's based on productivity, and you get sucked into this vacuum of producing and even self-medicating with alcohol and stuff like that just to keep you moving. Stuff like Red Bull. There's a good example of letting yourself become addicted to these substances that for the short term they help you, but in the long term they just create dependency and a lot of trauma, and then a repetitive cycle. And so I just wanted to share something like that, about that, what I've learned, especially these people in Philadelphia that are going through these kind of problems, and just you know, basically living dead. And it's wrong that these other people go around filming them and you know, putting on blast just so they could get views and stuff like that, because these people need help. They don't need like to be you know, shown all over the world how screwed up we are. And it kind of hurts because I'm a Marine Corps veteran. You know, I served in the country. You know, I was thinking it was an honorable thing to do. Serve your country and protect our, you know, to protect our freedoms, you know, our freedom, our rights. And those freedoms are actually causing us to kill ourselves, because you're free to do drugs. You're free to, you know, do whatever the hell you want to do. But if you have no structure, you're screwed. You're free. You could sit there and do fentanyl all day. You're free to do that. But in the end, we're all just killing ourselves. And kind of makes me sort of sad. But in my case, my dad jumped off a 200-foot bridge when I was a kid. And then my stepmother took all his property and I ended up on the street. So I know, you know, what street life can bring to you. It's not good. It's not a pretty picture. And so, and it's a cycle that won't quit. And that's the hardest thing of all, is to admit to yourself that you're addicted to something. It could be food. It could be, you know, anything. Pornography. Women, you know. Alcohol. Drugs. 1,000,001 things to be addicted to. And we're all only human, so the media that portrays these things, like glorifies them, gets in our brains, and we think it's a good thing when it's anything but. It's like, it's horrible. So it'll lead you down to the path of doing the fentanyl fold in Philadelphia. Then it makes me really kind of sad to see it, because like I said, I mean, if you're 20 years old and you're drugged out on the streets, your future is dismal. You know, unless something miraculous happens, you could be dead by 25 years old. I mean, I went in the Marines at 17 years old. It saved me from a life on the streets. But that didn't mean that my journey was over once I got out of the Marines, because I ended up homeless a few times. And not even really knowing why. Now I know why. And it was because my parents didn't give a shit. They didn't care about me. They only cared about themselves. Drugs, alcohol, overwork, all that stuff, the pursuit. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit. And seeing that this is like going on all over the place. Arizona, it's going on in Arizona, it's going on probably every state in the country, of people have no hope. And I'm not a preacher. I don't believe I don't promote like religion because I was raised in the Catholic Church, and it was weird. You know, I saw weird stuff. So if you're having those struggles, even like addicted to just sitting there watching bad shit on YouTube, you know, try to get off that. Go walk. Think of yourself. Don't think of what's coming at you. Think about, is this what I want to expose my head to? Do I want to just cower and just sit there and be this little limp biscuit sitting there staring at porn or all this other crap? Which, you know, everybody's guilty of it. This is all that's thrown in your face. But I don't see it getting a lot better, to be honest. Especially in the United States, because we live in such a hustle type country, where everybody's just trying to make a dollar any way they can. It's everywhere. So I would say the best thing to do is keep moving, but get out and enjoy what you can enjoy. You know, before it's all over. Thanks for watching.